Morphe is mostly a mindset challenge. Be prepared. A few weeks ago, many of you liked a comment that someone made, so I decided to reply in my post today. I won't answer all the parts of the question here, but I think most of you can put 2 and 2 together to answer the rest of yourselves. CC is coming the road. Good day, subscribe Masiwa. Thank you so much for sharing this with us all. May we continue to fly high as eagles. I feel lately we may please kindly discuss Morphe's law. If and when things can go wrong, they will. Also implementing plans and ideas into effect. Outsourcing challenges. These are the main factors I'm seeing lately. Thank you, sir. May your day unfold productively. My reply. I'm going to focus on the first part of the question. Nearly no one on earth planned ahead for the devastating health, education, and economic impact of a global pandemic. So we have all had to pivot quickly and adapt our lives, products, services to survive. You mentioned the so-called Morphe's law. When things go wrong in your business or life, and they will, the solution is actually not that complicated. You have to have the vision and the courage to dust yourself off, analyze the situation and the lessons learned, and then make a plan. It may be plan B, or plan C, or plan Z. I don't know who Morphe was, but it is a fact of life and business that you have to plan ahead for risk. That's why people buy personal insurance. That's why they write wills and health directives to grant someone they trust with the legal power to make health decisions for them if they become unconscious in an accident or very ill and are not able to decide important things themselves. In business, you can and must also plan ahead for big challenges. Serious business people tackle what you call Morphe's law with risk management, analysis, and planning. It is up to you to identify what risks could put you out of business. Most companies didn't anticipate COVID, but you can be sure no one will live out this kind of possibility in the future. It could be a weather catastrophe, a fire, new technologies, chronic power outages, even death, alcohol, or drug abuse amongst your staff or family. Risk management and mitigation is actually a whole business in itself. This could be outsourced or you can do it yourself with your team, but check it out. The most important way to deal with Morphe, though, is your mindset. Don't get frozen worrying about what can go wrong. Plan ahead for it with innovation, strategic thinking, and a vision. The bottom line is, don't let Morphe take you by surprise. I understand that's what he likes most. As the old scout motto goes, be prepared. Your most important responsibility right now. When I heard that Zimbabwe had imported vaccines from China, I called our family doctor and one of my dearest friends. Please make sure my mother, who is in her 80s, gets her vaccine shot. Then I gave him a list of each of my elderly relatives and said the following: go as a doctor and ask them to take the vaccine. I did not call them because I am not a doctor. If you have doubts, talk to a doctor because this is a health issue. Dr. Mbizo went to see my mother and explained the vaccine. Next day, she went to the largest hospital and stood in line to be vaccinated. When she called me, I was so elated. I have no greater a duty than that. Over to you. A powerful example of pivoting. Yesterday, Liquid Telecom announced that it is no longer a telecom company, but a technology company. It is now called Liquid Intelligent Technologies, and the word telecom has even been dropped from its name. This is actually the culmination of the journey we began more than 10 years ago following a strategy review. Pivoting is like a person standing on the same spot, but reaching out to do something else. It is not diversification. We want to focus on the services provided by our digital infrastructure. One, data centers, cloud services, cybersecurity, Microsoft 360, enterprises, business solutions. It is complete makeover. When we stopped building fiber to homes, except in Zambia and Zimbabwe for legacy reasons, our fiber was for businesses and to support our provision of services to businesses. Once you set a new course like that, you must walk to talk, skill up your people, bring in new products and innovations, build in new processes, 3 P's, then you redirect energy and investment. You don't make an announcement until you have actually done it. This is not politics. Now we have done it. More and more of our revenue is coming from these new product areas. Pivot. Buying and selling is a good place for entrepreneurs to start, but most entrepreneurs in Africa start their entrepreneurship journeys through the business of buying and selling goods produced by someone else. This is a good place to start because it helps you to build up your capital and to get into the vibe of running the business. In fact, this is how most entrepreneurs started. I remember sitting with Aliko Dangote and the President Obasanjo, with the president joking about this young guy who imported and sold cement. But it should not be an end in itself. If you one day want to be like Aliko Dangote, you must build up your capital to do more. Remember the story of Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. It is there on Sasai podcasts. Phil Knight used to import running shoes from Japan and sell them from the boot of his car. Then he began to manufacture his own shoe designs after he had learned to mobilize capital and also had some of his own savings. Today the company he founded is worth $230 billion and his own share is on 22% is worth $51 billion. The problem that some people who become successful through buying and selling is that they make it an end game. Instead of moving upstream, they become comfortable with enjoying wealth, buying houses and cars. If you can avoid this trap, you are the next Aliko Dangote or Phil Knight. Don't be satisfied with the pathway, but the destination. Long-range planning does not deal with the future decisions, but with the future of present decisions. Peter Drucker. One of the most important lessons I teach is every lion was once a cub. Every great entrepreneur, unless they stole the money or used the political power, started small, and they should be happy to share their journey. This is why I urge you to follow podcast stories on Sasai Podcast. where you learn that some of the most famous companies were started by young people, just like you are today. Let me tell you a secret. The only difference between me and an entrepreneur who is 30 is the age difference. In other words, I see in you the potential to achieve even more than I achieved. A good entrepreneur takes calculated risk, not just risk, because that would be reckless. Taking calculated risk means that you have carefully weighed all the facts and bring as much knowledge to bear on the issue as possible. Then you act, and you do so quickly without procrastination. Every lion was once a cub. As a young entrepreneur, I traveled to London on business. After the meeting, I rushed to the airport to catch the connecting flight back to Harare. I missed the flight. I did not have enough money to get back to the city or even to get a hotel room, and I was too embarrassed to call anyone and ask for money. I had no bank card, and my country's currency was not exchangeable. So I just found in a corner in the airport and slept for 2 whole days. Because the airline I used did not fly daily. It was before days of terrorism, so one bothered me even when most flights had gone. I am not ashamed to tell you stories like this because I don't want you to be ashamed of where you are at right now. It will come to pass and you will make it. Please listen to the podcast on the founders of companies like Airbnb to see what I am talking about. Today's small projects are for tomorrow. When I was a young entrepreneur more than 30 years ago, I had a small engineering company that was doing as many as 20 projects at the same time across the entire country. This was the skill I used when it came to plan the rapid rollout of base stations used to build mobile networks. I am basically a builder. The project management skills you find in the construction industry were what I leveraged to build mobile businesses and basically even other business I ever built. What skills are you developing now? That is your future. Every business faces risks that could present threats to its success. Risk is defined as the probability of an event and its consequences. Risk management is the practice of using processes, methods, and tools for managing these risks. Risk management focuses on identifying what could go wrong, evaluating which risk should be dealt with, and implementing strategies to deal with those risks. Businesses that have identified the risks will be better prepared and have more cost-effective way of dealing with them. Don't worry about tomorrow, plan ahead for him.